What's up, everyone? My name is Dakin Mix, also known as Mix Master. I go by two different names, so if you didn't know, now you know. But I'm just here to bring you guys a quick little tutorial on how to make a Jace type beat. I figured who better to show you how to make a Jace type beat than someone that's worked with Jace before. So to get this started, I have 4 points that I'm going to be touching on mainly, which is melodies, drums, leveling your sound, and putting everything together, like arranging it pretty much. So we're just gonna start with the melody. I have some sounds that I've selected for this beat, and we're pretty much just gonna get right into it. Now, as I go forth with the beat, I'm gonna be leveling, because it's the points aren't really how do I put this? It's not really something so like closely fit. It's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, because leveling you're doing throughout the beat. But let me just get right into this. I'm just gonna start with a nice melody real quick. And this melody is gonna be mainly a triplet melody because I've noticed that's what Jace likes to use. If you go back to my old beats that I've made for him, or the beats that I've made that he's used, then you can see that triplets are very prominent in this area. So we're just gonna start with this melody real quick. While I'm making it, I'm not really gonna talk, just so I can really focus on what I'm doing. BPM is 131, in case you guys wanted to know. All right, so we got this nice little triplet thing going. And because the sound I'm using is kind of like a harp and strings, I'm gonna drag it out to so that the notes touch each other. Like, cause you see how all the notes are close fitted together. It's not really just like they're not separate pretty much. So I'm just gonna drag them out to touch each other, and I'm going to hold right shift and drag down in order to slice this little end off so that I can loop perfectly. So the difference between that and that is. All right, there's that. I'm just gonna add a bass note. Just to kind of like add like a deeper, sound to it. And then we're gonna switch to all right, there we have the melody. Now I have like this little layer sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and just copy this to add like a little more depth to it. And now here's where leveling comes into play. You see how these two are kind of like fighting for the spot, pretty much fighting to see who's gonna sound the best. So what I'm gonna do is just level this out. And what I like to do when I level my music, I have some mixing headphones. If you guys don't have mixing like studio quality headphones, you should definitely invest in them because it takes your sound quality from here to all the way to as high as it can go. Because these are actual like you can hear how it'll sound in like different, like if they're played on different things, like if it's on the phone it sounds different, in your car speakers it sounds different, your headphones it sounds different. So these really just kind of capture the element of all those things, and it kind of just put them all together so you can hear how it'll sound on all different things. So I'm just gonna level these out. This is too loud right here. What I like to do is I like to close my eyes and I just kind of feel, just trying to feel for it, if that makes any sense. So we have the main melody here. This is way too loud, so I'm gonna close my eyes and just feel things out. Alright, that's about it. That's about it. Alright, now that we got that, we're gonna move on to the strings. Usually for me, I always have a pair of strings in my beats. That's kind of just I don't know if it's a trademark. I don't think it's a trademark, but it's something I do a lot. So we're gonna go from here. Oh, why is it muted? And I always harmonize my strings. Some people like to use just one, but for me, I always harmonize them. So let's see how this works out. Just gonna cut that off. And in order to, you see how this is like a long space? You could just drag it out, but one thing I like to do is Control L, and it'll just drag it out for you automatically. So that's something I do. And again, just to level it out, close my eyes and kind of figure out where it goes. Now for the bells, I'm just going to copy paste this because I have like a little bell sound. Sounds like this. But we are just going to copy and paste that. Same thing, level it out. That's about right. Now we have our lead right here. It's gonna come here and pretty much draw in a lead melody. For me, I always have leads in my beats. It's like, I mean, I don't know how to say it. I always got a lead or something. But yeah. That is way too loud, so for the sake of the melody, I'm gonna drag it down. And we're just gonna go forth with this melody. Cut that off. For this next part, what I'm gonna do is, just for the sake of the fact that I don't really have too much going on in the beat, I'm going to add like a kind of like a slowed down version of this melody right here. Once you hear it, you'll kind of understand what I'm going for, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it, just like as an alternative for the beat. You'll see where I'm going when I lay this beat out. Let's see. And copy and paste. For me, to copy and paste, I usually just do, I don't really highlight it and paste it over. I just control B, because control B just duplicates what you already have onto the other half. So watch. Control B, same exact thing. It just duplicates it. So it's like a slowed down version of this. Watch. All right, and the last part, last but not least for the melodies, in order to have like some sort of filler in the background, I always have a pad. Always gotta have a pad to just set the atmosphere for when the melodies aren't really doing too much. Because you know how there's a part in the beat where all the melodies are together, and then when you have the verse, you pretty much take out all the sounds and it's just the main melody. You gotta always have something in the background. So I got the pad going in the background. So I'm just gonna click these in. We have that pad. Alright, now for the melodies. For the sake of time, I'm just going to throw some quick presets that I use on these melodies. I'm not really going to go too in depth of mixing because that's a whole thing in and of itself. There's leveling, and then there's mixing, and then there's mastering, which is a whole other thing. So I'm just going to throw some quick little presets I got in my kits. So for the lead, it's 5. I'm just going to throw this on it. This on it. For the strings, I'm just going to throw this. And then for the pad, I'm going to come down here and throw this on it. Actually, maybe this might fit a little bit better. Yeah, I prefer that. Alright, now that these presets are on, I'm just going to level them out. throw some flanger on this real quick. That's all the melodies. Now we're gonna move on to the more simplistic part of it, which is the drums. So I got some quick little sounds that I have from my legacy kit. Hat, clap, and a rim. Now for the drums, one thing that I choose to do when I do my drums is, instead of having all the sounds playing at once, because that can get boring as a producer listening to the same thing over and over and over again, I just put the main melody and the pad so I can really just work with the drums. Because if I'm hearing all this stuff all the time, I'm going to get bored, want to do something else, and just turn it off. So just turn them off for now so that I can get these drums. So I'm going to start with the hi-hats first. And another thing is the bounce of this beat. Notice how with these beats, with this melody, and in general these melodies, it's all mainly a triplet. Like instead of just it's if that makes any sense. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But see how that's a triplet. So because the melodies are triplets, I'm gonna keep the drums as triplets as well, to just kind of keep that same bounce going. Because this beat is I'm aiming for like the bounce to just like, if that makes any sense. So we're gonna go ahead with the hi-hats and go from there. I'm not gonna talk too much just so I can kind of get everything to where it needs to be. Some low notes as well, so it has so it's kind of like, it sounds like it's a half speed in the background, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna lower the volume on this one. copy paste, not copy paste, control B. I just gotta add like a little. Control B, and boom, that's the hi-hats, you're done. Clap, super simple. Regular volume. Set it back to step. And I'm just gonna not put a clap on the second hit. I don't know, it just does something to it. I can't explain it, it just does something to That's pretty much all set. I'm just gonna add a rim and tie this up. Then we're gonna move on to the sub bass. I'm gonna switch this magnet over to 1.6 or 6th, so I can kind of do like a little triplet thing with the rim. Let's turn this down. Do something too different for the second half. I'm just gonna control B, put it in the exact same spot, which is to the 808. So now, with this 808 in particular, because this is a sub. So a little thing about subs is you're always going to want to, with any 808, obviously right click and cut itself so it doesn't run into each other. But because it's a sub, this is going to just hang, if that makes any sense. So let's see. Alright, so look. If I just play this by itself, it's going to hang, right? You see how right here, in particular, it just cuts off, right? The 808 itself isn't going to cut off. So look. See how it it's just hanging. Even right now, it's still going on. And we don't want that because this is a sub. So you're going to click on it, come to this envelope instrument settings right here, hold, drag this out, attack, close it off, and everything else, just close it off. So off, off, and off. Now, instead of hanging, it's just going to go and stop. Watch. Because you notice how before it went bloop, and then it just kept going. So now it just stops. So now we can do what we want with the 808 freely. So I'm going to go forth with this. Another thing. With 808s, in general, I don't know why I'm not doing it right now, but in order to make sure it's on key with the beat, make sure it's, how do I say it? When you're setting it out, start off at a higher octave. So I'm gonna go about 2 octaves higher so I can tell what pitch it is, because sometimes people start off with the 808 so low, and because they can't really tell what key it's on, it ends up being off. Like, if this makes any sense. Like right here, this is the wrong note. Just to give you guys an example. But because it's so deep, you can't really tell. But let's say I go a couple octaves up, right? Control, arrow keys, up and down. Up, up. See, that's obviously not the right note. So we're just gonna go up. And I'm just going to stay up here while I continue to go with the 808. That's done, we can bring it back down. Control down, 1, 2, and perfect. Alright, now that that's done, I'm just gonna level out the drums and arrange the beat. We're pretty much done from here. The only thing that goes into it now is laying it out and making sure all the sounds, the volumes are correct. So with the 808, for subs, I like to make sure it's on 3 on this little meter right here. Make sure this is on 3. So see how every time this hits, it's not going to go higher than 3. It's going to keep that threshold. And with the rest of the drums, close eyes and then just level them out. So that's what I'm going to do for now. that's the entire beat. Only thing left is laying it out. So we're just gonna lay that out. I'm gonna go to pattern right here, right click pattern, go to split by channel, and there we have it. For me, I mean, if you guys want to do it, you can, but I like to color my things. So I highlight, I select the first one, right? Hold shift, go down to Ethereum, pad or whichever. I stop at the melodies. I mean, you can do this if you want to or not, but I just do it to customize. I'm going to start with this color, and I'm going to end with silver. So I just kind of like fades it, if it makes sense. So now it has like this little fade to it. I'm going to do the same thing. Select this, hold shift, click on the last one, right click, rename, same thing. Choose my two colors, accept, enter. So it kind of like adds like a little vibe to it, because you see how I got the little yellow going on in the background, the yellow backdrop, whatever. It's just customization. This has nothing to do with the beat at all. I mean, if you want to do it, you can. If not, skip. But yeah. So with my beats, for this one in particular, I'm gonna have like a little intro, because I want to. This kind of has like the dark and grimy vibe to it, like a dark atmosphere, because of the key that it's in. It's in a sharp key, I think. No, in a minor, I think. But yeah. So I have everything, each one of these. I'm gonna create a duplicate. Oh shoot, and just have this out because of the intro. You'll see what I'm doing once it's kind of done. I'm gonna go to the master, go to gross beat, right click on presets, go to momentary and half speed. And now that that's there, I'm gonna throw the pad in. Sounds pretty cool, right? So look, go to the mixer, come to gross beat. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to right click this little knob, mix level right here, which kind of decides whether or not it's gonna be on. Like watch. Kind of turns it on and off. So I'm just gonna right click that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a point right here, right click. And I'm going to drag this down so it kind of has like a little transition, if that makes any sense. So watch, you'll hear it. And then you just pretty much go right into the beat. So 1 second. Let me add this back right here. Just so that's there. And now we can go forth with layering out the beat. So I'm not really going to talk too much. I'm just going to let the process speak for itself. Bells in, is I'm setting it up so that it can kind of like be a nice little transition into the main melody, or the main like the chorus, if that makes sense. So I have a transition that I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna cut this off, bring the hi-hats back in, and then just cut this off as well. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna come to my kit. If you guys want to do this, you can. I just do these transitions to add like a little, I don't know, like a little flair to the beat. I'm gonna come to FX. I'm going to choose the explosion. That looks like I already had it. And then we're gonna come here. So one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clone. Actually, let me delete this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clone this because I want it to have like a little build up and then a release. So clone this, come to the clone and reverse. I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna cut out the little space that has no sound. So I'm gonna hold Alt and then just drag it to cut it off. Alt, drag it to cut it off. Now I have this here and I have this here. Now it's gonna sound like an explosion, if that makes any sense. Let me cut this little part out right here. It's off, okay. Also gonna start off the beat with one of the explosions as well. So we're gonna come back and switch to the pencil. Start right here. Now it sounds like it's an explosion, like you're in a war zone. You know, if that makes any sense. At the beginning, I'm just gonna throw my tag in here. You always gotta have a tag. This is my tag. Got to have a tag. This is mine. But yeah, so now that we have this is kind of just gonna be the foundation for the entire beat. So I'm gonna copy, paste, actually, for the melody, for the verse. This is something cool about having layers. I'm gonna cut out this little whatever I have right here. One of the layers, I'm gonna cut them out. I'm gonna bring it back in. Copy paste. Now that I have this, I'm just gonna cut out the little beginning and I'm gonna bring the bells in, and this is where I bring in the other lead I was talking to you about. So watch. Hey, now. Bring the strings in as well. Here we're just gonna pretty much copy paste same exact thing we had going on here, drop it right there, have a little the explosion thing again, And yeah. I'm gonna add my tag, like I'd say right here. Alright, and for the outro, I'm going to kind of do the same thing that I did in the beginning with the gross beat. I'm going to select, I'd say, right here. Come to the gross beat, right click, automation clip, and just rise it up. So that it kind of goes right back to where it was in the beginning. Now this is where I bring in the other one. The other lead, I mean. Cut the bell out because that kind of doesn't sound right. But other than that, I'm going to select, so right click, a little part that I want to fade out. I'm going to right click the automation clip volume, drag that down so it could kind of fade out the beat, and there we have an outro. Forgot my tag right here. And there you have it. That's how you make a Iayze, however you want to say it. That's how you make one of his type beats. Let me know down in the comments if you guys think that Jace would hop on this beat if it was sent to him. Just let me know if you think that this is something that he would hop on. But that's pretty much it for me. My name is Dakin Mix, otherwise known as Mix Master. This was a tutorial on how to make a Jace type beat. Y'all take it easy, be safe, God bless.